How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today I want to talk to you about something that could happen in crypto that could send Bitcoin well over $100,000. And recently, we've been talking about a variety of different catalysts. We've talked about more protocols like Luna buying. I've talked about that a lot actually recently. A spot Bitcoin ETF could be approved this year. That is really ready anytime. It's just a question of the SEC. New countries could make Bitcoin legal tender. There are a variety of different countries that are looking at that. Petro Bitcoin could happen as Bitcoin receives payment for oil in Bitcoin. And even just if Russia turns to Bitcoin even more and more as this conflict continues. And then a simple supply crisis as mad stacking continues. Now, something that kind of has to do with that, but really isn't stated in here, is what we're going to be talking about today. And this is just kind of fun. I want to take a look at it because it's something that could happen. Now, we are going to talk about the stock market a little bit in this. So if you guys don't mind hitting the like button and subscribe button, and if you're looking for a place to actually buy stocks and crypto, I want to talk to you about Public. Now, before we go on, I want to talk to you about today's sponsor of the channel, Public.com. Public helps people be better investors. On Public, you can buy stocks, ETFs, and crypto. Just recently, Otis actually joined Public. Otis is a pioneer of fractional investing in NFTs, art, and collectibles. Soon you may be able to buy shares of assets ranging from a rare Banksy painting to in-game worn Michael Jordan sneakers to blue chip NFTs like CryptoPunks. You'll be able to invest in many different fractional assets all in one place and all in Public. Public offers a growing collection of 30 different cryptos to choose from, including ApeCoin, which just recently joined the platform. One thing that I like about Public is that they really care about providing you as much information as possible to their users. You can see what others are investing in, get custom news relevant to your portfolio, and share insights with millions of investors, analysts, and creators. They've also made it super simple to buy crypto so anyone can invest. Just choose your crypto, select your purchase amount, and you're done. If you want to check out Public.com, there's a link in the description. You can get a free stock worth between $300 and $300 when you make an account and make a deposit. Thank you to Public.com and Public for sponsoring this part of the video. Now let's get back into it. Now, right now, Bitcoin's not in the best place it's ever been, right? There's a lot of good things happening behind the scenes, but not much excitement in the space. Now, what kind of made headlines today and is making a lot of people excited is Elon Musk announced that he would take Twitter public at a $43 billion valuation if they would accept. I mean, that is significantly higher than where it's at now. I mean, that's a 20% premium. This is after they're already up 10%, actually about 15% since he announced that he bought 9.2% of the company. So this is a good amount of money that they can make on this. Now, he said that if they don't accept, well, he has a plan B. Now, he's talked about his own platform for social media, but something I thought was interesting, I've seen this on Twitter. A lot of people suggested that he just takes that $40 billion, $41 billion, $43 billion, and just goes and buys Bitcoin. So what would that mean? What would that mean for Bitcoin? Would it just add $43 billion to the market cap and we would just be sitting around, 44,000? Not even close. So if you don't know how this works, there's constant supply and demand, and that's what causes the market cap to be what it is. With a $40 billion buy, first of all, that would be really difficult to do. It would take a lot of time and it would probably send up the market really quickly. We know on exchanges there's only about 2.3 million Bitcoin left, but if you could buy it at today's prices, he would get over 1 million Bitcoin. Now, it would send up the price. They would make him pay a premium. But let's say he bought even just 500,000 Bitcoin. Well, that would cut the amount in reserves over 20%. And last time that happened, if we look here, when we were about at 3 million Bitcoin on reserves, we were around $5,000. Well, by the time we got up to about $64,000, over 10x, we took about 20% of the supply off. So it could send Bitcoin into the hundreds and hundreds of thousands. If it's anything similar to this, it would be about $400,000 per Bitcoin. Now, typically what we've seen in the past is when there's a $1 billion buy or even less, maybe $100 million buy, it typically has a multiple of about 20 to 25x. So if someone buys $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, it adds about $25 billion onto the market cap, which is significant. But when you compare it to what Elon Musk would be buying, that would be an insane amount. I mean, we're talking about $1 trillion on top of this market cap, which would bring up to 1.75 trillion, over doubling the price and sending it to about $100,000. Now, the difference is, if that were to happen, there'd be so much that comes off exchanges, there'd be such a supply crunch, and everyone would realize that Elon's kind of crazy and he's willing to buy significant amounts of Bitcoin. Every institution would have to really dial down or buckle down, as George would say, strap on, and they would have to start buying significant amounts of Bitcoin just so that they didn't get priced out of the market. I mean, we're talking about the price going up to $100,000 to $400,000 just like that. I mean, Elon could announce that, right? He could announce that he just bought $5 billion or $10 billion or $20 billion worth of Bitcoin, and he could make that happen. So the interesting thing is, what if he goes and his plan B is not to just start his own company if Twitter doesn't accept, but what if it's to go invest in Bitcoin and then take some of those proceeds, because obviously Bitcoin would spike up a lot after he buys it. If he just took that and made a yield on it, because he probably could make 3 to 5% in crypto, and that would be, think about how much money that is, 5% on $40 billion, $2 billion a year. Or he could take some of it and say, hey, I bought this, I'm going to trim my position a little bit each year just to fund this new social media company, because the fact is, it's not going to cost $40 billion like right away to go start a new social media company, right? He'd have to pay to get some people in there, he'd have to buy facilities, he'd have to pay for infrastructure, but it's not like he's not gonna have to spend $40 billion right away. And this is at quite a premium from where Twitter was. So the fact is, there are a variety of different ways that he could make some money on this, and he could use that to fund his new company. Now, what do I peg this at? What are the possibilities of this happening? Probably not very high, probably like 1 or 2%, but it is interesting to think about. I mean, even if Elon doesn't do it, but some other billionaire decides to go buy, a couple $1 billion and do something similar, just a different plan, maybe not with Twitter, but with their own company, right? You can get yield in a variety of different places. And assuming you make sure that they have collateral, it's not the riskiest thing you can do. And if you take so much of the supply off exchanges, the fact is there is going to be a supply shock. So that's just my opinion. I want to hear your thoughts on this, though, underneath the video. Do you think this could happen? Do you think Elon would do this? This seems like just crazy enough that Elon might try to do it and try to have this fund his new company, but I don't think it's very likely still. But I thought I would bring it up because other people are talking about it, and I think the possibilities or the potential of this happening isn't very high, but if it did happen, it would send us up so quickly. It would be unbelievable. So hopefully you have some crypto now. Of course, you always have to do your own due diligence. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Again, special thanks to Public, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.